What would this Peter Pan hobbyist and enthusiast want in a Peter Pan museum? Okay, let's do this. Welcome back once again to Peter Pan Lore and Peter Pan Facts with me, your Peter Pan hobbyist and enthusiast, using my Peter Pan hobbyist and enthusiast brain and knowledge to bring you fun facts, lore and trivia, talk about the world of the Neverland, the story of Peter Pan, and answer you guys' questions. Today we're going to invent a hypothetical museum. First and foremost, I would want to start the museum where the story began. So I would want to talk about J.M. Barrie and his family and his brother and what happened to his brother, the Llewellyn Davies kids, the other kids that the family knew. I would want all of J.M. Barrie's notebooks, or at least photocopies of them, maybe blown up and put on the wall. I would want an original copy of The Little White Bird, talking about Peter in that and going through that story. And then it would lead into the play text and some of J.M. Barrie's notes, how that changed, the first version of the play, the next version of the play, the added scenes, the additions, that kind of thing. I would also want original costumes from the stage, so I would want copies of, or versions of the copies of Nina's costume. I would want Jean Forbes Robertson, the original Captain Hook, that kind of thing. As many as we could get, and if not, replicas of them, and definitely loads of pictures. And you could also use some of the recordings, so we've got recordings of Jean Forbes Robertson's voice, that kind of thing. So all of that right at the start, along with the black and white version of the play that was made into a movie, and all the different versions that happened way early on. Then we'd move into the novel of Peter and Wendy, and we'd have an original copy of that, which I totally would not take home with me at the end. As we go through the section about the novel, I would want to draw particular attention to all the additions we got. So in the play, we have some wonderful notes in it in the stage directions from J.M. Barrie, which I draw a lot of attention to. And when we get to the section about the novel, I would put up all the illustrations from the original text on a huge big board so everyone could look at those really closely. But also, I would want to look at the extra things that we've got. For example, the chapter The Flight, and just look at the darker side of that as well, and all the extra bits we get in the text. I would certainly want to have different versions of the text where we have different illustrations, so you can almost see illustrations through history of the Peter Pan novel over the years, and all the different covers and what the illustrations look like. Big thing that I would want is stage costumes. I did a whole series about this over on the Peter Pan Lore YouTube channel, where I talked about 120 years of Peter Pan costumes on stage and screen, so I would definitely want to pull some of those costumes out of the archives and do a big display of those, looking at how Peter went from the autumnal colours of the stage all the way through to green and leafy, and maybe even characters like Captain Hook and how those designs have changed as well. Hell, do everybody. This can be it's a fictional museum, it can be huge. We can have Wendy and Smee and everybody, even Nana costumes, that kind of thing. I would want recorded interviews with people like Cathy Rigby, any copies of interviews that we've got with other people who've played Peter Pan. I would want them to be displayed or played or shown visually, whatever that was. And I want to show little clips of different people playing Peter Pan, certainly a very long clip of Cathy Rigby if we can get one. There would also be certain sections that I'd made up to look like the Neverland, so you can experience the Neverland. So you could go onto a bit of a pirate ship, maybe there'll be some trees, a home under the ground you could go into, so a very immersive experience for those who want to go in. And at the very end, I would want a section dedicated to Great Ormond Street Hospital, explaining how J.M. Barrie donated the rights, how that works with the law in the UK, how it's different in different countries, why it's important that this continues, and some of the great work that Great Ormond Street does. And hopefully people can donate at the end as well, maybe saying part of their admission price goes towards Great Ormond Street Hospital, that kind of thing. So that's how I would set out a Peter Pan museum. What do you guys think? Would you come to visit? Let me know in the comments down below.